Yeah, Arrowhead Chiefs. It's your girl, Miss Nicole. Okay. Hustle, baby. Started from the bottom, now we here. My homie at the start of his career. Let's go. Try to win him early, hear the truth. Tuning every Sunday for the juice. Arrowhead Chief Podcast, bringing all the news. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Good style. Out here rapping for the crew. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? You are tuned in to the Arrowhead Chief Podcast, episode 213. The playoffs are set, people. We have a bye week, so we'll be sitting back watching the wild card weekend to see who we'll be facing the following week. It could be the Chargers, it could be the Broncos, it could be the Houston Texans, but we shall see. We got a special guest on. You know, I'm very excited to get this special guest on. She's a DJ, but she's also a Chiefs content creator. You could catch her on Instagram doing a lot of stuff, talking Chiefs. I can tell she, does a lot of stuff with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, we have a DJ Diamond Diva on. What's up, Miss Diamond Diva? How you doing?
What's up? Thank you for having me on.
No problem. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate you coming on. So let's just go ahead and get started, man. Where are you from? Are you from Kansas City? How long have you been, how long you been doing your thing in Kansas City?
All right. Well, yeah, I am born and raised in KC Mo, went to Mizzou, so I'm KC through and through. Okay. I'm a registered nurse too. That's what I got my degree in. So, and that's actually how I started working with the Chiefs, is in that capacity during COVID as a nurse, and then for their COVID testing. So that was my entry into the organization. But yeah, I've been a DJ since 2009. And I love music. And that's kind of how I got into it. I think I'm relatively young, but it may be, some people may not remember the Westport days, America's Pub and all that. That's where I kind of started. America's Pub, 1822. Boulevard Nights is still up and going, but some of those spots is kind of where I've held residencies at and stuff. And so I still obviously DJ to this day. I did Curlchella. I have a D9 event next week. I am a AKA. I'm sure that's how the stories out there. But it's a lot of the Founders Days events coming up, so I'll be DJing for one of those next week. So still something that I love to do. But I've transitioned here over the last year or so to do like kind of content creation and stuff like that. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now and what I'm doing. So.
Okay, that's what's up. And how long have you been a Chiefs fan?
Well, let me see. I'd probably say since maybe like 5th grade or something like that. Like, my parents are big sports fans. They watch all sports, but mainly my dad was football. My mom is football and basketball. And so when I was younger, Sundays, it was football all day. And I used to be annoyed because, I'm a girly girl. And I'm like, man, it's just boring. I got football on all day. And so it kind of became to that, if you can't beat them, join them. Like, I would go in there and I'd sit down a little bit and be like, well, what does this mean? Like, and I start asking questions about it. And so the more that I asked questions, the more I understood, and it got interesting. And so I am a competitive person by nature. So it's like, once I started understanding it, I'm like, oh man, like, this is actually, like, I love watching it. And so it just grew from there. It's actually a funny story on why I even like started cheerleading in school, is because when you're a cheerleader, you are right there. Like, you get to go to all the games for free. And so that's just how person I am. So once I really got into it, like, it became a point where, like, I would be so mad if the Chiefs lost. Like, I would go to school and be like, don't say nothing to me about it. Don't talk about it. And my mom used to be like, well, you don't have to be so upset. Like, the Chiefs ain't paying your bills. And I was like, it's so funny now, because they kind of do now. So I can't be more upset about it when we win and lose. That's just kind of how it started when I was a kid, and it just grew and flourished from there.
That's cool. So you've been through all the heartache before we got to this point.
Mm-hmm. All of it. So this is beautiful. Like, and this is just a sidebar. Like, I just don't understand, like, people who born and raised in KC and talk bad about the Chiefs, or they don't have to be your team if you're not into that. But it's like, don't talk bad. Like, the people that have been here and that rock with the Chiefs, like, we know what we've been through, and you should just want your to win. Like I say, even if you have other teams that you like for whatever reason, like you should want your city to win, and we winning right now. So I'm enjoying it all. Like while we have it, while we like,
Right.
you can't tell me nothing. I'm gonna kick it until we can't kick it no more.
Right, because there's a lot of spoiled Chiefs fans out here that get
Yeah,
on here talk bad about Brett Veach and what he's not doing, and Andy Reid, and even this is it's funny that
right.
it's like they forget. It's like they forget that
Yeah,
we had some
yeah.
bad
Real
years.
quick, it's like we had a drought for quite a while, so
Yeah,
let's be
yeah.
excited.
For sure. Now, this season, it's kind of been a weird season, in the NFL period. But it's been for the Chiefs, it's been weird because, especially coming off of last year, which was, you can say, even though it's crazy to say because we won the Super Bowl, but it
Right.
was a down year because the offense, receivers dropping passes, Mahomes not really looking right, the Kadarius Tony saga, just all bad, just not good. Chris Jones, are we gonna pay him? And going through what he's going through. Travis Kelsey, he was hurt last year most of the season, and it was just not a great season. It was not a fun season,
It was a
and
stressful season, a little bit.
it was.
It was up
But
and
then
down.
you come into this season, and it's not too far. It's better, but it's not too far
Yeah,
away because you got these close games, and look, we all we care about is the W's, and the Chiefs will show you that they don't care about the regular season. They just care about the W's until they get to the playoffs, and then they turn up. But what are your thoughts on this season as a whole?
well, I think that this has been, like you said, it's better than last year in terms of we're not
A
dropping
little
as many
more.
passes and things like that. But it's been challenging because we've had a lot of injuries. And ultimately, like I think these are some of the intangibles that people don't think about sometimes. Like the Chiefs are two-time repeating Super Bowl champions, which is hard to do. It's been done, but not
Right,
done by many. And then going for three and having this year one of the best seasons they've ever had. This 15-2 is one of the best seasons that they've ever had. And so
right.
despite how it looks, the people want to beat the Chiefs. It's going to be a feather in their cap because there's so much going around. People love to hate us. We are the champs. So that's one thing
Mhm.
in itself. People want to say that they beat the champs. And so these games are a lot harder. You know what I'm saying? I feel like almost every game is almost a playoff game. And it's mentality
Mhm.
because everybody wants to win. They're giving us their best shot. And so those are the intangibles people don't think about. Also, the Chiefs play more games than almost anybody in the league because we are consistently in the postseason. In addition
Right.
to, we have probably the hardest, I would say maybe the hardest. I mean, obviously I'm not a player at the camps, but I feel like our training camp is probably one of the most grueling out of the whole
Yeah.
NFL. So it's like
Mhm.
all of those variables make this a long season. And to be able to win, despite how you're winning, 15 games out of 17 after you've won two Super Bowls back to back, who's doing it? Who else has done
No,
it? So I just
no.
think we have to kind of, when we think about how we're winning and how it looks like, we need to take those things into accountability that this ain't easy. Like, so to come
No,
out with
it's
winning
not.
the NFL, and some of them have been better. Like, I feel like we put on a pretty good display against the Steelers, but
Yeah.
it's like we're picking we need to. Like, we've had our wide receiver one out, we had our running back one out. We know the struggles at left tackle. So to me, like I said, coming against that adversity and still pulling out a win, and still to me in a lot of games looking, some games not dominant, but in some games I feel like even though the score isn't close, I'm not really concerned that we're going to lose the game. You know what I mean? Sometimes the
Right.
score is
Mhm.
final, but with
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
being said, to me the Chiefs are doing what they need to do for sure.
No, I agree. I agree. And then this season, the thing that I hated the most was the early bye week. Like usually we get a bye week, it's week 8, week 9, week 10. This year, when they said weeks, was it
It was
week
so early.
5, week 6?
Week 5 or week 6,
It
yeah.
was it was like, what are y'all doing? You got your best team. You got them playing dang near every day of the week except for Tuesday this year, and then you give them an
Exactly.
early bye week. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? Like, Roger, what y'all doing up in that office up there? Like, you just want to just run them to the ground. That's why I was like, oh, they really don't want us to get this to repeat because
Right.
they
And
trying to run us to the ground.
we end up winning too. 3 games in 10
Yeah,
weeks. Like, because
yeah,
that.
all three of them, all
I
three of
know,
them.
like, they talk about the strength of schedule. I mean, I feel like the schedule was tough. Like, there's some
It
teams, like,
was.
it happens every year where they may not pan out to what you thought they
Mhm,
were on paper. But I mean, starting off
mhm.
with the Ravens, who we know they're good, the Bengals, who everybody wants to claim we scared of, all that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bills, which we did lose to, and we always typically lose in the regular season, so that doesn't
Great
pay.
season.
But I feel like we
Yeah,
played against and beat all the teams that are going to be in the playoffs. Like I said, with the exception of the Bills, which ain't nothing different. So I don't know how. Like it's just so many things about we got an easy schedule and we this and that. It's like, come on, y'all. Like let's be for real. Just
yeah,
give them their props. We pulling it out,
right.
even though it's ugly. We pulling it out.
And they act like every team in the I mean every team, all the good teams just blow. I mean, yeah, Buffalo Bills and the Ravens, they're very good at making bad teams look like bad teams.
Yeah,
They'll blow out a bad team. They'll play the
yeah, they will.
Browns, beat them by 40. They'll play the
I mean, the
Raiders and
Ravens,
beat them
who's
by
not a good team,
20.
they beat the Bills pretty bad this year.
Yeah, they do that. They'll do that too. But
Yeah,
when the playoffs come, the Ravens don't look the same. And I love Lamar Jackson. I like
like,
Lamar Jackson. Outside of him playing us, I like when he win.
true.
I want the dude to succeed. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I want all the black quarterbacks to succeed in this league. So, I want him to succeed. And especially where he came from and how they wanted to change him to a wide receiver and all that other nonsense. And
Yeah.
now look at him. He's
Yeah.
possibly could be a 3-time MVP. So,
Exactly.
um, it's just like, but they make teams look bad. But then when they get to the playoffs, it's like Lamar don't look the same, And I don't know if it's because of the play calling. I don't know if he's just getting that pressure is getting on him because you got Mahomes, you still ain't got over that hump to playing with him and Josh Allen, ain't got over that hump to playing Mahomes because that's why they hype up and Joe Burrow. And I think Joe Burrow is good. Don't get it twisted,
Yeah.
but they hype him up. They hype that team up so much because it was 3 years ago they beat us and beat us in the playoffs, and everybody just jumps on their bandwagon.
Like
Oh,
somebody get the
they don't
Bengals.
want to play. They don't want to play the Bengals, and it's just like, man, we don't want to hear that. We don't
That
want to
was,
hear
I
that.
mean, I don't even, because that hurts my heart, that game. I don't even want to talk about that. Like, I'll talk about it, but it's like, for real, y'all, like, come on. Like you
Because
said, it was overtime. And it's close. A win is a win, so y'all got that off. But like you said,
yeah,
what have y'all done lately? In the last 2-3 matchups, what have you done? The last time in the playoffs, what did you do? So it's like,
nothing.
yeah, bro. Like,
And then
it's a
y'all
great
y'all
matchup.
haven't
I'll
made the.
admit it. It's a great matchup, but nobody's scared of the
And,
Bengals. Check the
and
resume.
I get it. Last year, I get it. Burrow's out. Yeah, they made the playoffs. All right, y'all get a little excuse. This year, y'all always start the season slow. Every year, every September, y'all 1-4. And
Right.
then we got to hear, oh, well, the Chiefs didn't try hard. They put their backups out there. It ain't our obligation to let y'all into the
No.
playoffs. You should have
Right.
won.
And that's
Beat New England.
have done historically. When you have already locked up the seed, most people will rest their players because we've
Mhm.
seen the injuries pile up. So just because y'all didn't handle y'all business, we ain't got to come in and win no game for you. You should have done what you should have
Yeah.
did. You could have beat us if y'all was so big and bad. You should have beat us. You should have beat some of those other teams. Y'all lost to the Patriots week 1, bro. Like, so at the end of the day, the team to beat was the team that got beat. Y'all didn't make it. This is 2 years of sitting out and hope for next year. Like that, you can hang on to next year. But this year, y'all didn't make it. And too bad. Too bad. Like, I don't know. I just got a thing because Bengals fans talk so much. They talk that cold cash. And I'm just like, okay, for somebody that don't have no hardware, where's y'all Super Bowls at? Whatever. You missed the playoffs for 2 years in a row. When the last time the Chiefs missed the playoffs? Just holler at me when you can be consistently good. How about that? How about
Yeah. That's yeah. All right. So look, coming into this season, Travis Kelce, we all know that, with his relationship with Taylor Swift, he's getting larger opportunities. And shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? He's well deserved. He's got the podcast with his brother. I think they just signed a new deal with their podcast, and they're doing big things. And he's doing stuff in acting. I know he's supposed to be in the new Happy Gilmore movie. I know he just had that show with Niecy Nash. I forgot the Grotesquerie or something, whatever it's called, but he's in that show, and I'm sure he's got other opportunities that's going to come his way. And then, this season, look, Travis Kelce does not look like he looks like Kelce at points, but he don't. Like that, he catches the ball, he can't get away like he used to. Like he gets the ball and he hurry up and get down on the ground. But do you believe that regardless of the outcome, of course we believe that we're going to win the Super Bowl this year, but regardless of the outcome, do you think that this is Travis Kelce last year?
For me, my answer, I feel like it kind of depends on the outcome. Like, I think if we win, when we win, the Super Bowl, he very well could be, because of what you said. It's a lot of opportunities with the podcast, possibly with Taylor. Who knows if they're going to get, who knows what's going to happen with that. And so he is getting older. I think he's still effective and could be beneficial on the team, whether it's, like I said, people are kind of sleeping on him because they think he's old and tired, which I don't think he is. But, if people think that, I think in terms of a mentoring role, he would be effective to stay on for another year. But it's kind of like, if we do a three-peat, I could see him being like, I want to go out on top. You know what I'm saying? Like, who complains? Like, that's 3 in a row. Like, you could go live your life and be well off. So I can see both sides. I could see him potentially coming back, but my feeling now more so is I feel like he might not be. I think this might be the last one. If we didn't win, then I could see more of an argument where he want to come back and get it next year. But I think we will win, and with us winning, I think he might. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if we were to lose like really bad, like it was just the Ravens came in here and just destroyed us in the AFC Championship game, then I think that he'd be like, I want it back, So let's run one more back. My farewell tour. Let's go and get the Super Bowl for Travis Kelce. I could see that, but I think if we win it, I do think that he will retire, and I think he'll ride out. Especially he already broke the touchdown record. He beat Tony Gonzalez's touchdown record, and he's probably, if not the best, he's one of the best tight ends ever. A lot of people I think he's the best ever for what he did. How many 8, 9, 1,000 yards receiving yards, and just
up there with Jerry Rice.
Yeah. And then he could break Jerry Rice's playoff record with the receiving yards and touchdowns. So he's one of the greatest. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. So I can just see him there, if he gets this 3-3, I'm done. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go through training camp no more.
Exactly.
I don't want to do none of that.
And then it's like, hard. If anybody could do it, I think the Chiefs could do it, because we know how to build personnel and talent, and we scout good. Mm-hmm. But I mean, four times in a row, like, somebody gonna slide in at some point. You know what I mean? So I feel like he probably is gonna want to go through that again. And yeah, for sure. Now before we get into the playoffs, man, let's talk about Tyreek Hill real quick. Now, Mr. Tyreek Hill, he's not very happy right now. We all know he took the money deservedly. So I'm all for players going to get your bag, man. Look, this team, this league will chew you up, spit you out as soon as they don't need you no more. You tear your leg up, you're no good to us. We'll cut you. You know what I'm saying? We'll let you go. So I'm all for a player going where he got to go to get his money. Mm-hmm. But you also got to understand what you signed up for. You knew when you leave Mahomes and Andy Reid that the championships ain't gonna be coming like that. And say what you want about Tua, he's okay. He's a good girl. I don't think he's worth the money that they paid him. But we all know that Tua, coming out of Alabama, he was injury prone. He had surgeries when he was in Alabama, and then the concussions. Unfortunately, he's a smaller guy, so he's gonna get these concussions when he gets hit. So he's always in and out of the lineup, probably sometimes for months. So, and even these past 3 or 4 games, he's been out. So this is what Tyreek Hill said in the post game after the game.
How do you feel about not getting to 1,000 yards this season?
I mean, it is what it is, man. It's life, man. I feel like at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that, I need to reassess, about, my career and, just see what I need to do, to continue to get better, as a player, so I can continue to reach that 1,000-yard mark. So it is what it is.
What do you think is the biggest reason the team finished 8 and 9?
I would say for me, man, as a captain, you know, it was a tough season, man. It sucks, man, missing QB1, man. It really hurts a lot, man. You know, not having him, but you know, Snoop did a great job of, you know, filling in whenever he learned the offense, you know, getting us going. But you know, whenever you're missing, you know, your franchise player, man, it kind of sucks. So.
As a captain, what is the message you have to these guys in the off season? You don't feel this at the end of the season, actually.
I don't even know, bro. You know, this is my first time. I haven't been in the playoffs, man. So, I mean, for me, like I said, man, I just got to do what's best for me and my family, dog. If that's here, or if that's wherever the case may be, man, I'm finna open that door for myself, dog. As I'm opening the door, like I'm out, bro. You know, so it was great playing here, but you know, at the end of the day, bro, I got to do what's best for, you know, for my career and, you know, what's best. Because I'm too much of a competitor to be, you know, just out there.
Mean you thinking about leaving here?
If it is, hey, yes.
Well,
So
I was shocked.
to give you a little bit more context, in the fourth quarter, he took himself out of the game, no injury, and Mike McDaniels even said in the post game, like, there was no injury. He just took himself out. He just quit on his team, pretty much. He was like, I'm done. So, what are your thoughts on this whole situation with Tyreek Hill?
Okay, I'll preface by saying, you know, I love Tyreek Hill. Like, all the Chiefs, he was part of the original squad. We got a ring.
Right.
Like, so with that being said, though, I was shocked when I first saw it. I said, no way he said that. Like, I just feel like you can't do that. And another thing is, I feel like you kind of have to be careful with what you say, because when he first left, I was like, why he kind of kicking the Chiefs back in though? Like, you can leave and be happy and get your bag, but why like who is better and it's this over here? Like, that's kind of the theme with people that leave the Chiefs. It's like, oh, well, everything's better over here, and you know, two is more accurate and this, and it's like, okay, this is what you wanted. And he's now in a situation, like he said it in the video. This is my first time not making the postseason. People get spoiled, you know, you don't think about these things, but you get over there in other places where the culture is different or whatever. And then now you want to come on. And I'm not saying he wants to come back. I think he probably does. But it's like, now you kind of regretting that decision. And so, like you said, to me, when you accept the job, you suit up, you took the money, they paid you handsomely, you got a job to do. This is your last game. Go out there, finish the game. If you still decide, hey, this ain't for me, I'm ready to go, then do that. But you ain't got to come out, refuse to play the rest of the game and quit on the team. And then just say you gonna quit, like you out, like you didn't talk to nobody, you ain't. Because to me, you know, Mike McDaniel, when he got up there, it was all news to him. You know, he was expecting to win and play, and so it's like, I just think that's a bad look professionally. And then, you know, taking it a step further with changing the, you know, it's funny, you know, saying it got to laughs, you know, putting that Antonio Brown thing, but it's like, Antonio Brown ain't in the league no more. Like, when he did that, out the league. Like,
that was done. It was over. Yeah.
To go to greener pastures at another team. And so to me, that don't look good. Like, you want a player who's all in. And it's like, if you got one season where you miss because, like you said, your quarterback's been hurt and stuff, and y'all just couldn't get it together, you can't do that. Like, you can't have that type of mentality. So I was a little disappointed to see it, because I'm like, I just think it could have been, you can leave, but don't do your team like that. Like, don't do them, especially being a captain. Like, don't do it like that. Finish, follow through, be a leader, and then make your decisions after the season over.
Yeah, I just think that, you know, look, like I said, man, I'm happy for Tyreek Hill. He got his money, but you can't get mad now that you're not in the playoffs. That, you know, and then you see your team over there and won 2 Super Bowls, and you just kind of like, man, I'm out. Like, I'm done. Like, you know, it's just like you break up with your significant other or whatever, and then you see them flourishing, and you cool where you at, but you know, things just ain't work out. You see them happy and smiling, and you know, relationship goals type stuff going on over there. You just like, you can't get bad, you know. It is what it is, you know. But I don't know. He'll be fine. He'll be all right. If they do trade him, somebody will take him. Trust me.
He'll get the job.
He's too good of a player not to.
And he's gonna go because he said if you don't want to be here, like they're not gonna keep somebody that don't want to be kept, So he'll go. It'll be interesting to see where. Just if he ain't come back to the Chiefs, stay out of the AFC. Let's like go over to the NFC or something.
For real. Please don't go to like the Raiders or something. Like, we
They
don't see that.
I sound like the Chargers. That could be crazy.
Yeah.
If
if I'm Green Bay, I'm getting on the phone. That's what they need over there. They need a number one wide receiver. They got a bunch of 2s and 3s over there, but they need a number one guy. So,
yeah.
All right. I got to get your opinion on this. We got the playoffs coming. Everybody tells us every year that this team is the threat to the Kansas City Chiefs, whether it be the Bills, and the Ravens, and Chargers, or whoever else they try to dig up to say that that's the threat. So, to you, if we were not to make it to the Super Bowl, who would be the team to be the biggest threat today?
I gotta see who comes out. My assumption, like I said, anything can happen any given Sunday or Saturday, whatever. But I anticipate that Buffalo and the Ravens are gonna have to play each other. Right. One of those two are gonna come together. I feel like in terms of who plays us the toughest consistently in the postseason, it would be the Bills. But in terms of who's gonna actually do it, I feel like nobody. And I'm just going by the history. Until somebody do, I'm gonna say nobody. The Chiefs, and I'll say Patrick Mahomes specifically, nobody is better in the postseason. Nobody, like I had saw this earlier and I was blown away. I said, so Patrick Mahomes has 15 playoff wins, and that's more than like 14 other franchises in their franchise history. Texans, Cardinals, Panthers, Jaguars, Bengals. Hello, hey, where y'all at, Bengals fans? Saints, Falcons, Bucks, Jets, Browns, Lions, who everybody want to get on that bandwagon, and the Chargers all have less franchise playoff wins than Patrick Mahomes has. So I just feel like he's got the best passer rating out of all quarterbacks historically in the postseason. I don't see it, especially with so much on the line. Like no team in NFL history has ever gotten a three-peat, and Patrick Mahomes is very competitive. Like all this, the bulletin board material and stuff. Like they see and hear that stuff, and so I think that this means a lot to them. I think that they all want this win, and so I think like I said, anything can happen. It's just going to take a lot, and it's going to take these teams on their best day. And I think that now that our roster has gotten better, people are coming back and being healthy. I don't see it. If we get to the championship game, I just don't see it. But if I have to pick somebody, then I'm gonna say the Bills, just because they play us the closest. I see a little bit more from Lamar. Like you said, I agree with you. I love Lamar. I'm all for the black quarterbacks winning. But I think when it comes to the postseason, the closest that would keep up with Pat, because he has historically, would be Bills.
Yeah, I agree with you because I just haven't seen it from Lamar, and it's just I think we just match up better with the Ravens. Right. I don't know what it is. I just think we match up. The way they play is, they're predicated off the running game, and with Derrick Henry back there, we tend to do good against Derrick Henry. We usually don't let him run all over us. Like it was that one time when we played Tennessee and they blew us out and he ran all over us. And then ever since then, they was like, never again. Like, we ain't letting that happen. So I just think that with the Bills, and it's not so much the Bills' weaponry, like the receivers or anything, or even their defense. It's more so just Josh Allen. Just he has that thing to where we saw it earlier this year, 4th and 2. We all know who's getting the ball. He's getting it. He's running it. He's not throwing it. He's running it, and he got it. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing that you got to do with the Chiefs. You can't play not to win. You can't play not to lose. You got to play to win to beat the Chiefs. Like, and that's what they did. They put the ball, because they could have very well kicked the field goal in that game and be like, oh, we'll just take our chances with our defense and let Patrick Mahomes do. And they knew ultimately he was going to do what he do, so march down the field and win the football game. But the one thing you got to do is just take it from us, and that's the one guy I think can do it. Heck, 13 seconds. I'm not gonna lie. When he scored that touchdown, I was like, well, I guess it's their year. Then
I was like, oh my God.
And then when they kicked it off and Tyreek Hill got them yards, I was like, I don't know.
We got a
We got in the field goal range. I don't know. And then he threw it to Travis. It was just like, oh, well, we still here. And then when we got the ball in overtime, I knew we was going to win that game. It was just,
Man,
but
it was one of the best because I was there at that game, and it is one of the best games that I've seen. Even the officials, when they did the coin toss for overtime, they said this is one of the best. Like, it was a clean game. There maybe was one or two flags all game. Rest was like, this is one of the cleanest games I've ever seen. Good luck to both of y'all. Like, I couldn't believe it. And that's why I said I think the Bills, like, it's just a personal thing, I feel like, with them, but they've got a history that in their franchise. Like, I feel like they went to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row when they had Jim Kelly, and they couldn't. I think if Josh Allen was in an era that did not have Patrick Mahomes, then they would have one by now. But it's just like the Bills. I mean, the Bulls, you know what I'm saying? When Jordan was in, it's a lot of people. Charles Barkley didn't get him one. Like, it's just people that ain't gonna get it because it's just you're in an era of somebody who's just kind of a little bit different. And I still think that's until they get beat. I don't think that if you let the Chiefs get in the postseason, I don't think you're gonna beat them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost like it's equal to the Tom Brady run. Like, you just knew if they got in, they were just they were gonna win.
That's right.
Like, you had the few, Ben Roethlisberger and all those guys that win, or somebody from the NFC side would win. But other than that, nobody in the AFC really had a chance if Belichick and Tom Brady got in there. So they just turned it up, and it's just like with Andy and Pat, they just turn it up. Travis, Chris Jones, all of them. Just like, we got to think, when we beat Cincinnati in the AFC Championship game, Legarius Sneed got hurt, and we had all rookies out there. Trent McDuffie, a rookie. Joshua Williams, a rookie. Brian Cook, a rookie. Like, and they went out there, and they got beat a couple times, but then after that, they learned from that mistake and was like, all right, we here, let's go. We had NVS look like one of the best players on the field. We all know that ain't true. Like, so this team, they get the best out of all the players. They just know, and it all comes from the top. From Andy Reid down, to Pat, to Travis, and all those guys. They know how to get the best out of whoever's on that field with us. We got a chance to win. Let's just get it.
Absolutely.
Lock in and let's go. So
I feel like it's kind of a different thing too, because like you've heard the new players that have come in, D Hop, so it's a different coach winning mentality. And I think that too, because it don't hurt when you have one of the best players to play the game, at QB, people buy in mentality, like, well, we can win any game. Like, and then the fact that we've done it, how many times, look, this year alone, last year, have we been down and in situations where it's like, this is crazy. And then we find a way to win. These come from behind victories and stuff. So I feel like because they've been in those situations so many times, and we've got the coach that we have and the quarterback, it's just a team mentality where they kind of feel like they can win any game and beat any person. And they just do. I don't know. But I just hope they keep doing it.
Right. All right, let's do a little prediction for this weekend. We got some games this weekend. Pull this up real quick. Boom and boom. So, all right, let's start. We'll start on the NFC side, and then we'll get to the AFC side. So we got the Green Bay Packers traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles. I know Green Bay, they lost their receiver, Christian Watson. I think he had an ACL tear in week 18. I know Jordan Love, he hurt his hand. Now, the Eagles, Jalen Hurts is still in concussion protocol, so that's something to watch out for. If he's even going to play this weekend, it might be Kenny Pickett versus Jordan Love, and that could change some things. But they would change a lot of things. So, but I'm gonna assume that they're just being cautious, and we'll see. Wednesday will tell everything I need to know. Wednesday and Friday usually tell you what you need to know about teams and what they're gonna do. So, so how are you? Let's just say Jalen Hurts plays. How are you feeling about this game? Who do you think will win?
So, everything on paper and from what I've seen, I would lean to the Eagles just because I feel like they have the experience. I mean, Saquon, you could argue MVP. of the season. I think that Eagles will probably pull it out, but like you said, if the quarterback ain't there, Green Bay is pretty good. Like last year, that's the same thing that happened last year. You know, Green Bay got in. I think they would do what they did, and they knocked some people off. So I want Green Bay over the Eagles. That's who I am pulling for and who I want to win. But if I just had to say, as much as I don't care for the Eagles and them, I'd say I would give the nod to the Eagles. But like I said, I wouldn't count Green Bay out. Like I said, we'll see if Jalen playing or whatever. But if you make me pick, I'll say Eagles, but I want Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna if Jalen is playing, I would probably side with the Eagles too. I just think their defense is gonna give Jordan Love a little bit of issues. Green Bay, their defense is young. They have some young guys, but missing their best corner, Jair Alexander. He's out for the season. That's gonna hurt them a lot.
Yeah.
And then with Jordan Love and his hand injury, I don't know how much it's going to affect them. I assume they're gonna run the football out with Josh Jacobs. And then the Saquon Barkley factor is just
now,
he
if that's the key, if then that's what I say. It's just you never know with these games, right? Like you never know.
And then with Green Bay, my problem with Green Bay is that look, they have a lot of good receivers. I like Romeo Dobbs, I like Reed, I like Wicks. Like they got some good receivers over there, but they don't have a guy that's like 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 15, and I gotta have this play. And everybody knows this guy's about to get the ball. It don't matter. He gonna make a play. They don't have that guy. They don't have that guy. They have a bunch of good receivers. They don't have no great receivers. So, and that's what Philadelphia had. AJ Brown, he's a dog. He's one of the better receivers in the league. Devontae Smith is one of probably the best number 2 receiver in the league right now. So. And then, you got a couple tight ends they got over there, too. So I just think Eagles are just going to be a little bit too much for Green Bay. Huh?
I said, now, as long as the chemistry, they seem to be kind of back in order, but they was having some schisms.
Yeah, they was having little issues in the beginning. But, receivers, man, they don't get that ball, man. They get mad.
Defense. Yep.
They get mad. So, now we got Tampa Bay, who they won the division in Week 18. They got the Washington Commanders with Jaden Daniels, who's not even a question, the offensive rookie of the year. He was amazing this year, man. Nobody saw the Washington Commanders being in the playoffs this year. Actually, I thought, because I knew what Jaden Daniels represented. I watched him at LSU. I knew he was going to be something in the NFL. So I'm not really too much surprised, that they're in the playoffs. I didn't think they'd be like I thought they'd be like the 7th seed or something like that. But I'm not surprised at Washington because that kid is that special. So and he showed it all year. And but you can't look down on what Tampa done. They've had their injuries with Godwin and. Evans was hurt in the beginning of the season, but then when Evans came back, their offense started picking up. Baker Mayfield's probably having one of his best seasons. They're at home. I want to pick the Commanders, but I just think with Tampa being home, I just think that it's going to be a tight game, but I just think Tampa's going to pull it out at the end.
I'm going to actually go Commanders on this one for that reason. I agree. Like the Bucks, I feel like people was kind of sleep on the Bucks, and they can be if they get out of this round, I feel like they could upset some of these top teams too. But I just feel like I don't know. It's just something that I just feel like I don't think the Commanders are going to go all the way this year with a rookie quarterback. But to your point, he's doing things that put him to me on an elite level. Like he's showing that he's going to the elite quarterbacks in the league. And so I think that in the playoffs, I could see them coming in and upsetting the Bucks. I could see it happen. So I have the rhyme or reason or who's going to be that. I think if it's going to be an X factor, it will be that quarterback. I will say that. Him and that McLaurin, their connection. I know the last he was kind of off, with him, like they weren't connecting like they typically do. But I don't know. I just feel like the Commanders are going to sneak this one out. For some reason, I just feel like they're going to win this one.
Yeah, I'm not even mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I wouldn't even be surprised if they did that. Now this next game is very interesting. The LA Rams, they're hosting the Minnesota Vikings now.
Ooh,
My Minnesota Vikings, they were rolling
yeah,
until that last game. Now, Sam Darnold, I don't know. He was just, I know that credit to the Detroit Lions defense. They gave Sam Darnold problems on
yeah,
Sunday night, and he was just high with every throw because he missed at least 3 to 4 touchdowns that probably would have won him the game. Like,
yeah. They
Justin
was
Jefferson was, yeah, Justin Jefferson was open twice. Addison was open a couple. Like, he missed some touchdowns when they got that red zone. But my problem with LA is that, I don't count the last game because they sat everybody. But the
mhm.
few 3 games since they beat the Buffalo Bills, their offense hasn't looked right. Like, their defense has actually been winning them games, which that's a good thing.
Yeah,
But their offense, you got Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, Matthew Stafford. Like, I love Sean McVay. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, Diamond. My biggest dream is when Andy Reid retires that we somehow get
I-
Sean
that's
McVay as our head coach.
he's
Because
good.
I don't want Matt Nagy. Give
Well,
me Sean McVay.
now people are trying to interview him, the Jets and all of that. So I don't think it'll be. I don't know. We'll back to your pick.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I just think that last week, they faced the Detroit team. They were hungry. They wanted that #1 seed. They were at home, and shout out to Aaron Glenn. He just had a good defensive plan against Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold will get back on track. I think he saw what happened last week, and I think that team is going to be hungry. I love LA. I think if LA is one of those Jekyll and Hyde teams. They can hang with a lot of good teams, but
Yeah,
then they can look bad on Sundays or whatever day they play, and it's just like, what's going on over there? So I'm gonna go with the more consistent team, and I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I think they win by 7 points.
I'm gonna actually go Rams. And so to me, like I said, this year consistently throughout the year, Minnesota has played better ball. But when it comes to kind of close like this, I'm gonna go with the better quarterback. And I think that the Rams have the better quarterback with
I'm
Stafford.
not mad at that.
As Stafford is, I mean, he was doing crazy stuff back in the day, years and years ago.
Mhm.
People were talking about it. And so I think that, like you said, with Nakua, who else they got? What's his
Cooper
name?
Cup.
Cooper Cup. There you have it. They got Demarcus Robinson over there. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
with their experience, having Super Bowl experience, having playoff experience, and then having the better quarterback, I could see them beating the Vikings, especially after the display they had against the Lions. I think that the
Yeah.
Vikings are a good team, but we've seen that year after year with different coaches and different regimes. They'll get to the
True.
playoffs and play good, and
Yeah.
they'll be strong throughout the season. And then in the playoffs, it's what happened. You know what I'm saying? So it could go either way. But if I'm choosing, I would bet on probably the Rams might end up sneaking that one from them, and it'll be an upset. But I won't be,
Yeah.
even Minnesota's a good team, so it'll be like I said. I'm interested to see all these games, but probably the
Right. Yeah, for sure. Now let's go to the AFC side. Now the Denver Broncos, they got in, they beat our backup, so they got into the playoffs. They're 7th seed. They're traveling to Buffalo to face the Bills. The Bills, they've been pretty good this season. They had a pretty good run going into the playoffs. They're gonna be hyped. That crowd's gonna be hyped up in Orchard Park. Snowballs, and they're gonna be jumping through tables and eating wings and stuff and doing all kinds of crazy stuff out there. But so I don't know what they got going on in Buffalo, but but I think this game it could be interesting. I'm not saying that Buffalo's gonna lose, but I think it could be interesting from the standpoint of Denver's defense is really good.
Yeah,
That defensive line is really good, and Patrick Surtain is probably the best corner in the league. He's a lockdown, shutdown corner. So whoever receiver he's facing, he's gonna shut them down. So it's going to be interesting to see what Sean McDermott and Joe Brady and them, what type of game plan they have against this defense, because they can get after the quarterback and they can make life hard for Josh. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying, like I said, I think the Bills win. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going into the 4th quarter and we're like, oh no, oh no, it might be a little upset.
I'm here for it. The Broncos can knock them off, and I ain't gonna be mad at it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the Bills will end up pulling it out, but I think you're right. Denver's defense is nothing to sleep on, and I think we're gonna see classic Josh Allen have to run for his life and make some things shake because it's not gonna be them easy step back in the pocket. Like he's gonna have to be moving. And so, depending on how they adjust to that, like you said, it could be really interesting. And we know if it gets down to them last few ticks and it's a few plays away, I mean, crazier things have happened. So, I mean, that would be a major upset. I ain't even gonna hold you on that.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. It'd be a
The
crazy
defense,
upset.
and then Bo Nix is actually doing good, like as another rookie quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But which I was disappointed that they didn't beat the Bengals when they had the chance. I'm like, they giving you all these opportunities, but he's be able to make some things happen when he needs to make them happen. And so I think we're going to have to do that to beat a team like the Bills. And I think that it's going to be good. They coach Sean Payton obviously has experience and stuff, so I think it'll be close. But I think obviously have the edge.
The one thing about this Bills defense, it could be had now. Like they've had better defenses. Like you can score on this defense. So that's another thing. It could be different. Now Bo Nix turning the football over, then the Bills are gonna blow it out. Like he cannot give the ball away. If he has a couple turnovers, there's gonna be a blowout.
And it's gonna be like this his first playoff game. And the Bills, they kind of tough out there, you know what I mean? So if he ain't ready without him lights on, they could eat him up out there. So I could see it going either way. It could be close, or it could be they just are off from the beginning because they can't get it together.
Yeah, for sure. Then you have the Ravens facing the Steelers. This is a division rivalry. We all saw how they looked against the Steelers the last time they played each other. It was a blowout. And the Steelers, they just have not looked good these past 4 or 5 games. They've been in like a 4 or 5 game losing streak. Russell Wilson does not look good. The George Pickens saga, where he's just throwing tantrums on the sideline and selling his quarterback out. That when they played us, that interception that Justin Reed had got in the end zone, that was on George Pickens because he didn't run his route. he gave up. And it was just like when Justin Reed saw that, he's like, "Oh, you ain't gonna be in your flats. Well, I need to stay there. I can just go get this pick real quick." So, the Ravens are rolling. I know, they rolling right now, and they look good. Their defense is actually looking a lot better. Their defense was terrible in the beginning, but now the defense is starting to shape up. Marlon Humphreys is looking like Marlon Humphreys. Nate Wiggins is starting to come along. That defensive line is getting after the quarterback, and then offensively, this is the best season. This is the best season Lamar Jackson has ever had, and it is because of Derrick Henry and what he represents. And Derrick Henry is having a great season too. Those two together interchange, and you don't know who's going to run, who's going to, when he's going to pass, and the weapons. Now, what's interesting is the health of Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
If Zay Flowers is not healthy, then this game could get real interesting. It really can. But if Zay is out there and he's healthy enough, to get out there and play, then I don't think this game is going to be close. I think they're going to destroy it. Steelers. I don't think it's gonna be close. I know it's hard to beat a division team 3 times, but man, Steelers are they look like they're ready to get taken out of their misery, man. It's not looking good. So I got the Ravens big in this game.
I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping that the Chargers would get the Ravens round 1. I think that would be a better matchup. Yeah, I don't like in the beginning, Pittsburgh looking good, looking strong. I mean, they have a lot of success against Lamar and the Ravens.
They do.
This year. They beat them once this year. So, like I said, anything can happen. You draft for your division. So I could see it in a playoff atmosphere. Pittsburgh has a chance, but if they look anything like they've looked the past few weeks, which I mean, I don't know. I don't have reason to believe that they don't look a whole lot different. Then, I don't see Lamar losing this one at all. And the one thing I will say, though, that's a little bit different is that Tomlin, this is a big game for Mike Tomlin. There's a lot of people that are angry, in Pittsburgh because Tomlin is a winning coach. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a winning season every year, and they most times manage to get in the playoffs, but then they're one and done. And so this is big for him. They really kind of need to win this game. Like, I think his job could potentially be on the line. If it ain't next year, I'm not saying he's going to get fired this year if they don't win, but like, I could see this being the beginning of the end for Mike Tomlin if they don't pull this one out. So with all those things on the line, Russell Wilson, if he's trying to defend his legacy, and maybe they'll play up. But to your point, Lamar and them are looking real good. I would be surprised for them to go home round one against Russell Wilson. Close, I give it to the quarterback. They got the better quarterback hands down. So
yeah,
Ravens.
Yeah, if Bills and Ravens were to lose this weekend, it'd be one of the biggest disappointments. It'd be one of the biggest.
I mean,
you might as well just go ahead and put us in the Super Bowl, man. Just go and simulate us to the Super Bowl, man, because it's over.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
it's
our division, pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Chargers and the Broncos.
True. True. But as far as Tomlin goes, I think a change of scenery is really a good thing for him. I think he'd do better somewhere else. Like, go to Jacksonville, man. Go coach Trevor Lawrence. At least you got a solid quarterback over there that could, do something. Like, he's still young, and you got some pieces over there. All you gotta do is just fix that defense up a little bit. Go to Jacksonville and get out of Pittsburgh, man. Like, they just, I don't know. It's sometimes you just need to change the scenery. It happened with Andy Reid. Like, Andy had to leave Philly. He comes to Kansas City, and he pretty much rejuvenates his legacy once he gets Patrick Mahomes. So, and I know, Tomlin, he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. But he's got a Super Bowl. He's been to another one, but he needs to change the scenery.
And that needs to leave. That it's run its course, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been there for a long time, and for the last several years it's kind of been the same. They are good, they can be good teams and they remain competitive, but they just can't get over the top. And it's like, the goal isn't just to get to the playoffs, like the goal is to go beyond, and they just can't. They ain't doing it. So you might be right with that. I do think if they lose, then nothing's on the table at that point.
Yeah, it could be a conversation to be had for sure. Then the last game, you got the Houston Texans. They're hosting the LA Chargers. Look, I have not liked the way CJ Stroud has looked all season. His offensive line, especially in the middle, is terrible. And losing Tank Dell, losing Stephon Diggs has not helped him. Now, they did get Deontay Johnson, and we'll see how that works out, because Deontay didn't work out with Carolina. First, he didn't work out with Pittsburgh. Then he worked out with Carolina. He goes to the Ravens, a winning situation, which I didn't. And I don't know what he was expecting the first game. Like, you don't even know the system, dog. You mad because you ain't getting the ball? Like, what? Like, okay. So he gets his way out of the Ravens and signs with the Texans. Unless he has the superstar game, and Nico Collins is probably one of the better, young wide receivers that's in the game right now. But unless Deontay Johnson has a great game, I just don't see. Now, Texans defense is actually really good. Derek Stingley Jr. is a good young corner. They got two edge rushers that can get after the passer, and look, they can make this game interesting. That the defense can make Justin Herbert turn the football over a little bit. But I just think Jim Harbaugh in this Chargers team, they're just gonna do enough to win this game. Like, their defense is going to keep them in the game, and I think Justin Herbert and that running game is just going to do enough to win that game. It's going to be close, but I just think that they're going to dominate the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to win the game.
Yeah, my pick is the Chargers too. Unfortunately, the division thing is like, but I agree. I don't think Houston has enough this year. They kind of went on a downward spiral. I feel like in the beginning they were competitive. They were looking good. And then with that Dale going down, the quarterback Stroud hasn't looked as great. I don't know. I just don't see it. I do think that right now the Chargers have a better team. Harbaugh is a legend. I think they're gonna win a playoff game. I just do. Justin Herbert, man, like, he can be dangerous, bro. On their fourth down, I think they're the better team this year, hands down. And they got the benefit of the doubt because their division was trash this year. so nobody rivaling them to get in. But
Mm-mm.
it's probably gonna be a one and done. Now I'll be surprised. I won't be upset if Houston musters something out and can get it together. They'll be at home. That you just never know. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Chargers gonna come on out of there with that win.
Yeah, I just look. I like CJ Stroud. I think he's a talented young man. I just think that
This year
he's finding. Yeah, he's finding out like that sophomore year, man. These defensive coordinators, man, they game plan against you now. They know your weaknesses now. They know what you got to work on that in the off season. Like you can't just go off your rookie season. There's been so many rookies that came out, look great in the second year, and then you don't hear nothing from them again. They'll never look the same. And it's just like even Mahomes, you know what I'm saying? Like as great as he was, he had to find out his second year, like we ain't playing against you now, player. This stuff don't surprise us no more. Now he was able to overcome that because he's one of the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just CJ Stroud. He's this season definitely humbled him for sure. It humbled him, and then I expect
friendly chat he had with Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you might want to take your own advice, brother. No, but no, I think he'll be fine though. He'll be fine, and he'll get some more weapons, to go with Nico Collins. Hopefully, and it doesn't look good for Tank Dell. I think Tank Dell might not. He'll probably have to miss the whole 2025 season, 2025, because that knee injury was just bad. They had like several surgeries on that leg.
And
so
this is one too. So hopefully he'll be able to even come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, but hopefully he can come back in 2026 and keep his career going.
Because I would have said, had they had their people, I would give Houston the nod actually. But
I agree.
And then there's still a younger team in my opinion. You got there's more. I feel like experience over there with the Chargers, and then they're playing better right now. So
yeah, they are. They are. Led McConkey, Quentin Johnson, J.K. Dobbins in the backfield. Then you got Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, like Derwin James. He's doing good.
Oh my gosh, that's not even.
Yeah, so they're looking real good. So
I wanted the Chargers to play that would have been a better matchup. Like
it would have. It would have.
It is what it is.
Looks like we'll be playing the Chargers in the divisional round.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I had to think of the tree.
Yeah. So, all right. Before we get you out of here, I just want to know at all the Super Bowls that we won, the first one to the last two won, what was your favorite Super Bowl win that you remember that was the one? I remember that night. I was happy. I was jumping up and down. Whatever you did to celebrate. What was your favorite one?
So, I mean, legit all of them because all of them are special, and I have moments from each one. But I'm gonna go with Live 54 against the 49ers because that one has some of my favorite plays in it. When they did the Rose Bowl play, like when just that game to me, like I had so many emotions. You know what I'm saying? We came out flying. I'm like, oh man, we about to kick they. Like we came out good, and then it's like, what happened? It got to the point where I had to step away. I said, let me just look away. We've had a good season. I'm giving myself that prep talk where it's like, even if we lose, we had a good season, this and that, and then just all of a sudden, like, wasp. Like that one to me was one of the most memorable ones because it was the first one, that kind of kicked everything off. So, like I said, all of them were dope. They were all close, all nail biters and crazy. But I would say that probably was one that stuck with me the most. It's 54.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that one. That probably had the most moments in it, as far as like you said, Wasp, the Rose Bowl play when he ran it in, and
it's a lot of.
Told him, you gotta hit me. You gotta hit me. Yeah, what's his name? Damian Williams run to end the game. All of that. I think the one against the Eagles is probably my favorite Super Bowl win, though. It was just, I don't know, it was just something about that game. He's on one leg pretty much, and You know, in the first half, you know, we're down by 10, and then in the second half, he had probably one of his greatest games. He damn near went perfect. The only reason why he didn't because he had to throw one away, but he just went damn near. He went score for score, and they had to score. And then the Kadarius Toney, you know, return, and there's
So,
all of that.
yeah.
Even the controversy with the holding.
Too. Yep, the two
Yeah,
black
even
stuff like that. That was a good one. That was a good one.
yeah, it was a great Super Bowl. But like you said, all of them are great because we won.
Hey, this last one, I mean, I remember that last second. I didn't know what was going on at the moment. I said, "Oh my gosh, like we're out of time." Like that.
Yeah, I did too. I said, "Why are we not taking no time out? What y'all doing, man?" And then when he threw it to McCole Hardman, I was like, "Oh, okay, we won. It's over."
So that one too. Like I said, there are things from each one where I remember like with my exact emotion where I was. I cried on the last one. Like it was just nuts. But like I said, if I got to pick one that had the plays and stuff, yeah, that one against the Niner game. It's a good one.
Who do you guys playing in the Super Bowl this year?
Well, of course the Chiefs, and I think on the NFC side because I can see. Okay, so it may not be popular, but I could see the Rams sneaking in. That's not my first, I think, but I'm saying that's my wild card, I would say. But ultimately, it's probably gonna be the Eagles. I think it's gonna be the Eagles. I just, as much as they get on my nerves because they was talking all that stuff like from the Super Bowl and all of that, I just think they probably will. Now, the difference maker will be, like you said, we'll see a lot here in the next couple of days because if their quarterback is not playing, then no, I don't think so. But if I'm choosing, it's probably going to be Chiefs and Eagles. I think Chiefs and Lions would be excellent. Like, that would be a great one to see. I wouldn't mind seeing that one. But I don't know. Dan Campbell and the decision making and the big spots, like I could see somebody getting the one up on him. I just could. Just like last year. You know what I'm saying? Like they were this close. They were there and blew it. So I could see that happening again. So I'm gonna go Chiefs Eagles.
I'm not mad at that. I'm gonna go Chiefs Detroit. I just think Detroit's on the mission. I just think it's their year to get there. I just think that it's one of those things. Yeah, but I just think nobody expected them. I think it was just they was happy to be in the NFC Championship. It was like nobody even expected them to go to the playoffs last year, and it was just like, oh, okay, but they're a really good team. And I just think they're at home this year. They're not going to San Francisco. They're staying at home. They get to play in front of that crowd. I just think that Detroit is their year. They're getting some players back. They're getting Montgomery back. So I just think it's their year to get to the Super Bowl and face the Chiefs, where they ultimately lose.
Right? Yeah. Because and I'll talk about that. Get closer.
Yeah.
I and I can see that happening. Like it's just so many. There's a lot of good teams and a lot of variables. Depending on who's in and who's out, that could change things. So I could see it happening. It's just I could also see it going the other way because of we went for it and we shouldn't have went for it. We should have took the points, or I could see coaching coming into play with the line.
Yeah. No, I'm not mad at that. Yeah, Dan Campbell, he can be risky at sometimes at the wrong time.
Time it down.
Man, going for it on the 4th and 5, man. You don't need to do all that, man. Chill out. Chill out. All right, Diamond, man. Yeah, for real. All right, Diamond. I appreciate you coming on the show. Definitely got to get you back on. Always welcome. Always welcome to come back on the show and talk Chiefs and football with us. Have to get my other guys to come on when you come on the show so we can all talk. So, but I definitely appreciate. Tell everybody where they can follow you, where they can see your content and all that good stuff.
Okay, yeah. So you guys can follow me at DJ DiamondDiva on all social media platforms. You can do that. I also have a sports podcast as well at 31 Sports Podcast. So yeah, social media you can find me. You can email me, like I said, for bookings and collaborations, DJDiamondDiva@gmail.com.
Cool for sure. Well, all right, Diamond, man. You have a good rest of your night. And like I said, it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. See you later.
All right, now. Peace. All right, Chiefs Kingdom. Pretty good show. Really good show today. Appreciate DJ Diamond Diva coming on the show. Definitely follow her. Follow her content. Follow her podcast. She has a lot of good content. She breaks down the games on Instagram. Gives her thoughts on the game. So go ahead and give her a follow. And yeah, man, shout out to her, man, for sure. All right, let's shut it down. If you look down at the bottom, you see the link emqpodcast.com/locker-room. If you click on that link, you'll see the locker room access of all the podcasts under the Every Morning Quarterback umbrella. They have they have a Patriots one, a Bears one, they have a Jets one, they have ours. The Chiefs one, Arrowhead Chief Podcast. Click on the banner, you'll see it. All of our episodes from the past to the recent ones. Also, they have a podcast too. You can check them out, listen to them. They talk about everything NFL league wide. They talk about college football too, and they also give you betting tips for the week. So go ahead and subscribe to their channel. And shout out to those brothers at Every Morning Quarterback. And whatever streaming platform you use, whether you use Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, whatever you use to listen to your podcast on, the Arrowhead Chief Podcast is available. Also, if you first time watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button. So when we go live on Tuesdays, you can jump in the live with us. You can talk about these topics. Chief topics with us, even when we have guests on, you could talk about it. Whatever we're talking about, man, because we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear from Chiefs Kingdom. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, whatever you use to do your social media on, you can follow us at AH Chief Podcast. Follow us, we'll follow you back. We're not Hollywood, we're just some regular Chiefs fans just like y'all. So go ahead and follow us, interact with us. If you have a feedback or critiques, or you have a question or a topic that's Chiefs related or NFL related, and we like it, we will bring up the topic on the show. We'll shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and send us via email, DMs, or our mention, and we will get back to you as soon as we see said question or topic. All right, Chiefs Kingdom, this is a rest week. We get to sit back, kick our feet up, and watch football this weekend and see who we're going to face this weekend. It could be the Chargers. It could be the Broncos. It could be the Steelers. But, we'll have to find out. We'll know by Monday. We'll be back next Tuesday to talk about who we are facing in the divisional round. So until then, Chiefs Kingdom, hope you have a good rest of your week. Stay safe out there in Kansas City. I know y'all out there dealing with the snowstorm, so hope y'all stay safe out there. Be good. And until next Tuesday,